ranks, you know.
Description should have it. Okay, let me see. Most of these people don't really play ranked anymore. They kind of just play 10-mans, and there's money after season. Okay. My lurking or learn lurking better on Breeze. I know my issue with crouch spraying is a problem. I'm still working on it. I also want to know how to make a bigger impact and do better against players that are much higher ranks than myself. I don't make as much impact. Okay, so basically the focus is on lurking. Okay, got you. All right, chat. What's wrong with this wall? What is wrong with this wall? Not cutting the angle from pyramid. Doesn't cut the titty. Yes. People from bridge can shoot. That too, actually. Yeah. Because it's not deep enough. But anyway. Okay, so the main thing is this. Yeah. It's not cutting. Basically, with this wall, you give them too much space in the back of sight. You know what I mean? Like, they have too much space back here to play around. You want to avoid this. You want to avoid this at all times, because this is like a free window for the enemy teams to just push through, and they have free space to challenge you.
I'm grabbing orb.
Oh, he's got share.
Holy shit. My wall's about to drop. Oh, that's not bad idea.
Just get the plant money going.
Do not.
Yeah, lineups first. Back out if you can.
I don't have enough money for lineup and shit.
Oh, you have a snake bite. What do you mean?
Just stay up, play together. Get back.
Yeah.
Drop molly on him.
Poison orb emitted.
Drop molly on bomb.
Okay.
There's someone.
Yeah, you know-
over there.
You're not pushing entirely. Can you flash this guy backside?
Okay, so the thing with lurking, your presence needs to be unknown, okay? That's number one step of lurking. Lurking, your presence needs to be unknown, okay? You're throwing this deep smoke, it's predictable, right? Like, this play, this is very, very predictable. Because this turret popped like 3 times, man. If you're gonna do this, you need to... So, if you're gonna... If you're gonna lurk up halls, you have to... Let me see what happens here. So use this wall to throw your orb. Like, let's say that you throw your orb here while this wall is up, and then you activate your orb, and then you walk up on the orb, and then you create space because the KJ turret didn't get procced. Okay, then it's good. But everything up until this point, it's like it's not. It's obvious. Step 1 for lurking: do not be obvious. I'd be very surprised if they're not holding this. I'm trying a lot of new stuff for the Breeze game. I mean, you don't really need lineups to lurk, right? Like, you don't need anything like this.
There's 2 minutes.
Okay, no, Jet,
Okay, this actually ends up working really well because your wall drops the same time that you're about to peek this angle. I was going to say this is going to be very bad for you to fight because of this wall that cuts off sight, right? Because your team can't help you and they're just going to be holding you. So now that the wall's dropping and now you're going to peek, it's not the worst. The only problem is your smoke also dropped, so...
people mid.
But this is going to be hard cleared. If these guys are good, at least.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, and if you're going to throw your wall, the wall A that I mentioned should be thrown every round, right? You don't have to get experimental with walls. You don't have to get experimental with smoke orbs. Like, it's very straightforward. You throw your wall that cuts the pyramid, and then your smoke orb can go wherever, right? Usually either on the bomb or if you want to lurk with it. Are you really doing utility only? I am, yeah. After this coaching session, yeah.
Okay, one's on the right hand side is Jet.
So again, you're just kind of winging your wall. All right, this is step 1. Don't just randomly throw your walls. Make sure you learn one really good wall for every site. The wall that I mentioned, that's a really good one for A. The one for B is this one, right? You should just know 2 walls. That's the only, those are the only walls you need to know. You don't need to know any other walls whatsoever. You don't have to get experimental with them, because I would only recommend you get experimental with them if you already understand at Immortal. At Immortal, that's when you can start getting experimental. Other than that, you're probably going to grief yourself and your team. So until you're Immortal, I would not experiment with walls and stuff. Unless you have like a set play in mind, but these don't look very... Okay.
Dude, just missed.
This was again pretty scary, right? So what I would have done with this lurk play, you can hug this left side. You need to not proc the turret, right? And the swoop peek, they patched that, right? So swoop peeking isn't good anymore. I mean, it's still okay, but you don't. It's not the advantage that you think it is.
Hold on, Caleb.
I think you're relying too much on tech rather than just playing the game. Does that make sense?
Dude,
I think you're worrying too much about one ways and tech and
Arena.
like
Spike down A.
good walls and stuff.
Last player standing.
Even then, if you're immortal, you shouldn't really be doing walls like that respectfully. No, it could work. It could work if you have a good understanding of walls.
Do you still have 40
Sometimes I'll wing walls if I have something in mind, right? Like I'm trying to lurk a certain way. I'll throw an interesting wall, but that's about it.
30 seconds left.
one's gonna give it to you here, I think.
What?
Yeah.
So another thing too is like when you are lurking, don't lurk in the same spot every round, especially if you're walking into a KJ, because turret ruins your lurk. Okay, the second your turret procs, it ruins your
I
lurk.
thought I hit that.
So you want to lurk like elbow, right? I love lurking elbow. I lurk elbow all the time. You want to just get away from your team. Because a lot of times, like, if you guys are going A, there's probably gonna, like, someone's gonna assume you're coming, like, halls. But if you have 4 people on A, they're not gonna really assume one's B. And that's the whole point of a lurk. The whole point of a lurk is to create space on a map, on the map, when they have rotated. After you've created that space, your whole team can rotate back to you. And the reason they can is because you've created the space and they know everything up until this point is safe. Unless, of course, you know, they decided to push down mid or something. But the idea is, like, you lurk on a site, you push deep, you're like, guys, I have A, come A. And you are deep. You are in a good spot now. So that's, every time you lurk, that's what you should be thinking about. Should pay attention to the team, because his wall wasn't up for the team that round. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing, too. Okay, so this is a good wall. Just be careful exposing yourself from B main. This peek was not the best. You don't want to be holding W around corners. You always want to be strafe peeking, especially these very hot angles, right? This was a very...
Jet mid.
Use strafe keys, right? Not W around corners, ever.
Got Killjoy.
Nice pick.
Dead.
Let me get orb and I'll
Alright,
ult on
go
A.
for it
I'll ult on
now.
A.
4v3, 4v3, you got this.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, head both smokes here.
I smoke go.
We have Viper ult.
I'm ulting. Nice.
Yeah, this was kind of scary, right?
Bro, I don't have a peek at Jordy.
But you're chilling.
That's all good.
Okay, watch our
One
point.
enemy.
I just want to rank up. I solo queue everything. Give me tips. Gotta find your mistakes first, man.
Stay up, stay up, stay up.
What's that KJ doing? She thought she could create space, but she got punished. Oh, it's all good. You're in a 3v1. You play around your ults. Surely you win this. Okay. So again, this wall way too deep.
Being in hall right now.
Can break wall. So if you want to lurk, again, like I mentioned, right? You want to be on the opposite side of the site or on the map. So B, elbow, whatever. This wall gives me anxiety. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we already discussed the wall. Okay, so they have this, this isn't a lurk anymore, right? This is a split.
Go down, eh?
A lurk is ruined when they know where you are, okay? The second that they know where you are, a lurk is not a lurk anymore. That's just a split, right? Like, you guys are looking to hit A. I don't actually know what you guys are planning on doing.
Killjoy's close.
But you have to have something in your mind, right? Like, what's the goal here? You guys are pushing through halls. 3 people pushing through halls. For what? Right?
I'll drop in my...
You guys gonna plant and CT spawn? You know, you know what I mean? Like, you have to think, like, are we splitting A? You know, are we opening the metal door and splitting A, which you guys should have been doing because you guys have a jet in A main? Are you guys gonna push through to B? If so, your guys should be lurking B, right? Like, there needs to be an idea. You need to be thinking in your head, what the hell are we doing?
Nice.
Also, again, so swoop peeking is not... They fixed this bug, right? Don't rely on it. Isn't there no advantage to playing 4-3? Why do some people use it? Preference.
Can we go B? Just still on ace.
We're all on A right
We're really lost. No one had a plan. Yeah, no, I know.
Backside.
90.
Okay, you already mentioned your issue with crouching and committing to too many gunfights, but I'll mention it again because something you don't want to do. You should only be committing to gunfights when your crosshair is on them. Otherwise, burst and strafe.
Just a mid chamber. Sure.
Should you even crouch when spraying? Yeah, if you're spraying, you should be crouching, yeah. But you shouldn't be spraying all the time. You should only be spraying if your crosshair's on them initially, right? Like, your first 2 shots are hitting, that's when you commit to that spray.
Oh wait, I'm blind.
So you're lurking the same spot every round. You're doing the same play every round. Dude, before the round even starts, if someone can just be like, oh, I know exactly where this Viper's going, then you need to not be doing that. You've done the same play every single round. Sometimes you gotta switch it up, you know, go elbow, go B main, if you guys are working towards picks. But, and try to avoid the KJ turret, right?
Viper on A. I just heard her smoke warp go down.
Okay, that's a good calm. I probably look to fall now. Open the metal door. Yeah, you want to... So after your presence is known, this is good. This is good, right? You want to be like a nuisance. You just want everyone to be like, oh, what the fuck? There's one metal door. Okay, this is not the play. You do not want to be first contact in a situation like this. 1, you have gun and disadvantage. 2, you have nobody to trade your kills. So when you're by yourself, you cannot be the first contact. Remember that, okay? That's a rule of thumb. When you're lurking, you should never be the first point of contact because nobody could trade your kill. And it's very bad practice to do that, and you're coin flipping, okay? You want to be like the person who just comes in late and then collects kills, and you know, you want to make, if you're gonna make noise, don't expose yourself. If you're lurking, you can't be the last points or the first point of contact. Is Viper really the right character to be lurking here? She's so valuable for executes on Breeze, and she's a solo controller on the team. They have a chamber who might be far more effective. Yeah, probably. But the thing is, every agent... Okay, so here's a common misconception. Every agent can theoretically lurk, okay? Oh, this agent has to lurk. Or Viper's the last one standing, so... And she's the lurker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lurk on Reyna sometimes. Every agent can lurk and has the potential to lurk, and you shouldn't be lurking every round, but you want to be unpredictable, and this is very predictable.
That's crazy how they just hit that.
I think you're lurking too much. You're like working up a...
Get backside.
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad to just walk up halls and open the metal door and just be like, if they're giving this to you, this is like added pressure on the enemy team. Yeah, so this isn't too bad.
I can't get picked.
That's fine.
Unless y'all distract them.
I got spotted.
Nice pick.
Every agent can lurk, but if you're Instalock Jet, who is the only duelist on the team, don't lurk. Well, funny enough, there is a content creator, a streamer, who does do that. His name's Harmful. He's a Jet insta-locking lurker. But he's good. He's good. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, literally every agent can lurk. The only one I wouldn't recommend, like, at all is, like, Sage. Don't lurk on Sage. Do not lurk on Sage. Right? He's really good. Harmful? Yeah, he's really good. And he's lurk, right? He's a Jet lurker. But it works. But don't lurk on Sage. That's the one agent you literally cannot lurk on. Why? Because she just brings way too much value for her team, right? Heals, walls, slows, res. Like, literally every single one of her abilities, you need your team there. I mean, you can heal yourself, but that's grief. Okay, you're in a good spot, except the bomb is not planted for you. And I feel like you would have already heard him if he was rotating from A.
He's on mid.
Yeah, you heard him mid nest. So now you need to either start looking to flank, or you need to reposition and help him mid, right? He can play off of your contact. You know, these kind of things.
Yeah, don't peek on my contact.
Oh, you did comment. Okay, this is the correct play. Yep.
Just play off my contact.
This is perfect. Yeah. All right. This was good. This was good. I like this round. I mean, lurks in general can be very effective if done correctly. I usually like lurking when I notice that they rotate heavy. They rotate heavy. They don't have a sentinel. These are the kind of questions I ask myself. And when I don't see any of that, I'm like lurking almost every round. Because it's very powerful. When you get full info for a site, or you get site for free, Not only do you get the site for free, but you get yourself in a very good position. So both very huge things.
Watch out.
Nice.
Yeah, now you just open this. Okay, this again,
Walls down, walls down.
kind of risky, right?
Mid.
Dude, one's on
Spike
one's on IT
down
already.
A.
But now you're in a decent spot. So I'm noticing that you're getting yourself in good spots, but only because you're getting
One
lucky
enemy remaining.
preemptively. Okay, so like, this is what I mean by this. This door open is fine. You just can't peek. Why? Why is it bad to peek this, chat? Well, not down. True. Exactly. Can't trade. Nobody can trade off of you. No one can play off of you, right? Your team can't support you. Right? Nothing is cleared backside. Nothing is cleared triple. Nothing, you know, they could be here. They could have quick rotated. And at the end of the day, they know where you're at because you just opened the middle door. It's going to be a 1v1, right? It's a coin flip. You want to avoid this. You just want to open the door, be a nuisance, wait for the wall to drop, have your team scout for info. After they get the info, maybe then you could play off of stuff, right? This was very risky. All of this whole interaction where you just did, very risky shit.
Walls down, walls down, walls down.
And then after you cleared all this, now it's okay. So now you actually end up getting yourself in a good spot. There's actually one B main. The chamber needs to win this 1v1, or it's gonna be hard, and he does. 2v1.
One enemy remaining.
That should be mid, right?
Oh, yeah, probably mid. Yep. So it's a good. Yeah, this was again kind of risky, right? Because your chamber was in a 1v2, but I guess it's good. Good like thought that they could be mid.
There's like 2 lurking calls now. So
They
like,
sold me off.
yeah, I can't do it.
Dude, why is Viper so hot, man?
She has to be close, right?
Yeah,
Did you
close,
think
like,
like the devs who created her just knew at the start?
I'm ulting at 1 ult.
They're like, dude, everyone's gonna fall in love with Viper.
Wait, was there one? On the
Spike down A.
Oh shit, should I not plant?
Viper, you have a small portion of your ult.
Yeah.
You could have planted actually.
There's one flank, right?
You have ult, guy.
Yeah, one
The only reason I say you could is because you already had your ult down, right? It wouldn't have been bad to fall off and then decide afterwards, but
They're both on site.
that's a problem with KJ ulting too early. It's kind of grief. You only want a KJ ult after they've planted the bomb. Never
I don't have
before.
any mollies left, so.
I don't think I've ever seen a good KJ ult before, unless it was like time critical thing, right? Like there's like 15 seconds left on the clock, and you think they might be hitting your site, you just pop your ults. That would be a good time,
My
but
ult. Playing the ult with
let me see this positioning. So you're not in a good spot here. You're exposed from like 3 different angles. Either you just jump over here and maybe watch this, or like, I don't know. You want to never expose yourself like that.
Yeah, B.
Oh, I see them all. Oh shit.
Poison toxins going up.
Watch it, watch it. Oh shit.
Okay,
Nice.
before you use walls, you have to understand what makes this wall good, okay? So here's a problem with copying like tech that you might see other people do. This wall that you throw that cuts through the middle here, why is this wall good? Someone tell me. Someone tell me why this wall is good. The one that cuts through B. Come on, class. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pop quiz. Why is the Viper wall that cuts through B good? Retake easy peasy. Can't get into backside. Retake. Yes. 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 It is for retake. This wall is for retake. Okay? And the way that your team and you are playing this is not a retake position. If you have 2 people on site, you do not retake. You fight. So you have like conflicting things, right? This is the problem with copying tech and not understanding the importance of it. Like, you might see a good player throw it, but if you don't understand it, you cannot utilize it well. Remember that, okay? Always ask yourself, what's the importance of that, and why is it good? Why did they throw that wall? Always ask yourself these kind of questions, okay? This, you have like a smoke orb for B main. You have your molly out, ready to molly it, but you also have a wall that's for retake. So it's like you're kind of griefing in a way, okay? Yes, you threw a snake orb when they ran in, and your smoke orb came up, but you threw your wall up, which blocks your vision, and you can't actually fully abuse the vulnerability. Your chamber could have. I'm actually very surprised that your chamber didn't kill him.
One in. Oh shit. Nice.
Oh, he does. Okay, so he got one kill. And he TP'd out. Okay.
Backside, right?
I got 54
I'm
on
going for my ulti.
Okay, you guys should probably be splitting you and your Sentinel up, right? You and Chamber should probably be on opposite sites. Because these guys at A aren't going to be able to hold that thing down.
Spike planted.
Oh, they planted it.
This is a scram. This is a 10-man.
Oh shit. Okay.
Alright. Decent gunfight. I mean, I would have taken that, so.
Watch
Does
out.
not have
for
bomb. Does
rotate.
not have bomb.
This is a really good call to hold.
Honestly. Pinch with another jet.
This is kind of grief.
One enemy remaining.
Good stuff.
Last player standing.
They look good though, your glasses. True, but I don't know. Yeah, so it's too much spraying, man.
Nothing hit on her at all.
You're like spraying before your crosshair's on him, but you jumped, right? It's unlucky.
I'm waiting for like mid.
So again, right? Like you threw a snake bite, you can't watch the push.
Mid.
Contradicting util. Figure out the purpose of your walls plus util.
When they're up, you're going flash through.
Okay, what do I say about your ults? You want to ult from the start, right? On defensive side. You, instead of ulting reactionary, again, right? Like I mentioned multiple times, you want to ult right away. Why? Because your team can already look to rotate somewhere. And if you notice that they've been hitting A lot, you can ult A and have your team kind of play towards mid or whatever. But the whole purpose is just ulting right away. Your team can already do this play. Now it's a little bit risky. Because when are you going to ult, right? Are you going to get value out of your ult?
I'm ulting B.
See, here's the problem with ulting reactionary. This is the exact problem with ulting reactionary. One, you don't get a good ult off. Two, you gave them so much space for them to understand where you are that they actually can pinpoint where you are now because of how late you ulted. It's just better to ult from the start and you just ult off the main, right? Like the whole B main. But now it's like, yeah. They already knew where you were. So it's like 2 seconds after popping your ult, where can you possibly be, right? Well, your radius is like this. Always think about this. Like after popping your ults, depending on how many seconds pass, your radius increases, right? It's the same way like when cops try and find criminals, right? They're like, oh, where was this guy's whatever criminal activity in the last hour? How far can he actually go? All right, that's the same thing, but in Valorant, it's like how far can he actually travel in 2 seconds? You know what I mean? And then the more time that elapses, the further they can be. It's the same thing that ends up happening in like every single one of your games. The same way, like if you saw the last guy cave, but it's been 10 seconds, it's like, okay, well, you know, how far could he have gone in those 10 seconds, right?
Nice.
You will not kill my ally.
That's mid.
One enemy
Got
remaining.
Nice.
They might be mid. Oh, I see them. I see them. Oh shit. I'm low. Yeah, I'm going back B. I can't. Also.
I got it. I'll come over here.
Oh, I'm playing
I can.
retake B. So.
Yeah.
What?
Better to keep
Dude. Oh, man. I mean, I guess this wall could be used as retake, too, but, like...
off on it.
Dude, this wall is perfect for playing backside, too, right? You're throwing walls for fighting on site. You're doing, like, the opposite of what you need to be doing. Like, you throw your wall that is actually for retake, and then you play on site, but then you throw a wall that you could be used to fight on site, but you play retake. You know what I'm saying? It's so you could technically use this wall as a retake. It's not bad. It's not bad because it does cut off the whole back site when you're trying to get into the site, but it's okay. I think it's better. I think you really just need to end up clearing that because you could always deal with people just wide swinging from all directions. Yeah, no, I don't like it as a retake wall. No, I don't like that. Unless you are trying to, unless you're taking elbow control. If you're taking elbow control, then it's actually good. Right? Because you got to be thinking, how does this wall benefit me if they retake, okay? Here, you give them B site, you throw this wall up, you and your teammate push through B main, you clear out all of B main, so they all have to funnel into site, and now they're all stuck back site with your wall up, then you have them pinched, then it's good. But for that to all work out, it's very unlikely, because chances are if they lose B main, they're probably going to be pushing into tunnel or CT. I mean, that's what I would do. You never get bored of Valorant? No. I feel like after hitting rating, it's just going to be repetitive. I mean, no, I have like a bunch of challenges that I do. Keeps me entertained.
Nice pick. Not too sure.
Yep.
I haven't cleared it entirely.
Can always hit rating again the next act. I don't know.
Are they on site? Are they on site?
I've already invested so much time in FPSs that
I'm behind.
I don't know. I think it's fun right now. I get my fun and enjoyment from content creating at the moment.
Got their Viper. Go backside, backside.
How was it?
Game.
You guys lost? Okay, that's tough. So this is the majority of the stuff. A lot of conflicting util and a lot of obvious util usage on attack side.
We know we in chatty, your channel is desolate. You at your peak and you'll never be relevant. Now we got beef and now I'm here to settle it. Channel ain't growing, you might wanna pedal it. You are like 7 whole years to develop it. I'm way above you in another element. Keep in the trunk like I'm a fucking elephant. How you work out, and I say still not intelligent.